We are going to get your energy and then carry on with the message. You know what I mean? Right. Spirit energy. Thank you. 3 came out at once. Okay. Ooh, that was 4. Nine of Pentacles, 4 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, Hierophant, Tower. None of Swords at the bottom here. And I am getting full on freaking chills out of nowhere. This feels like a mix of like a lightness, but a heaviness, kind of a wading through the heaviness, which makes sense. This is a very like intense integration period, especially because I'm pretty sure Venus just moved into Capricorn today. And of course we started Capricorn season over this past weekend with the winter solstice there. It's a big sigh. It's just like, I came in with such like a positive message, but your energy is feeling really heavy, which is funny because when your first card out was the 9 of Pentacles, you're sitting here in this very like abundant, positive energy. And it's almost as if you don't necessarily recognize it at this time, because simultaneously as you're sitting in this like abundant, like positive energy, doing this like deep reflective work, like harmonizing out everything that is going on, right? Learning of like equal exchange, equal give and take, and what it is that you want, how to like achieve what it is that you want, and believing, like being able to believe in what it is that you want, right? It's like these hierarchical structures, is it whatever, within your mind are collapsing. And it's like, it's ego death. It's like ego death after ego death. And it might not necessarily feel like it, which actually your energy does make sense, because the message, but I was taking the messages so positive because I'm like, oh, this is such beautiful, stunning energy. And then I take your extra energy and it's still beautiful. It's still stunning. You're going through like this wonderful period, but there's this heaviness, and I can sort of detach sometimes when I know what the cosmos it has in store for us. So excuse me on that, but my point here is that now is a very like intensive awakening period. Very integrative, like just a very integral time, to be honest with you. The message yesterday revolved around kind of having a blank slate, understanding everything that was integrated this entire year, and then pretty much acting like it didn't exist. And that's kind of the point here, right? Notice how I said there's this like heaviness, right? This ego death. There's I'm pretty sure the dark goddess Kali is aspecting Venus in some way right now. Don't get me to just pulling things out of my behind. So I don't know what exactly aspect it is, but I know that it's a key aspect that is kind of coming in and going, like what within your values, how you view things, how you express like beauty and like create and everything, like what about that, how you make money, receive, all of that, right? Very heavy feminine energy. What in your feminine energy needs to go, needs to be cut off, right? Spliced. I don't know why I'm getting spliced, but sure, yeah, sure, let's go with that. And so I feel like that's why there's this like current of like heaviness, because so much is being cut out of your life at this time. It's like, no, this cannot go with you. But that's not for you to focus on. That's why I said that we are ignoring pretty much this entire past year of integrating that we've done. So this is a deeper level of integration here that is happening for you, that you are being asked to bring and like bring up to the surface, bring up to your conscious awareness at this time of understanding that. And we just had 3i Atlas come as close as it was going to come to Earth, orbit, transit, whatever. I don't know if it's not orbiting us, it was passing by. Anyway, technological terms, whatever. A big thing with 3i Atlas was a reset. It was a grand reset, kind of a brief pause, and really activating, like asking that of us and activating things within us. And now we're starting to feel the effects of that activation. And this was on both the end of our masculine energy and our feminine energy, the wounds and the sort of rage that lies there, the betrayal that's happened, on both ends, and just a collective reckoning that's happening, both between external masculine and feminine, and also that is within you. And so as this awakening is taking place, as you're bringing this up to your conscious awareness, you're being asked to let go of what's happened, because you're being asked to zoom out and take a new perspective. Essentially, we have to remember that we are just a flash in the pan. We are so insignificant when it comes to the universe. Like, yes, to be human, to exist here at this moment and at this time, it's divinely guided. It is beautiful, it's stunning, it's awe-inspiring, all of those things, right? But at the end of the day, when you think about our experience here on Earth, we need Earth. We need the cosmos, right? It's the cosmos that gave way to Earth, that gave way to human experience. It's not the other way around, right? The universe, Earth, does not need us. As we die off, and even as we do, as time has gone on, and as time will continue to go on, we will perish, and we will return back, to the energetic field, and here in the 3D, like corporeally, we will go back to the dirt, right? And give back into Earth. Earth does not need us. The universe does not need us. We rely on them, whatever you want to subscribe to in that way. So the point here in zooming out, sorry, something in my throat. The point here in zooming out is to understanding that this is just a blip. This is like but a blip. Your entire experience is but a blip. Not everything in the universe revolves around you. And really, this sounds cynical, but this will really help you to understand that everything that's happened this year is not personal, and to let it go, because not everything is about you. These are shifts that are taking place on a grander scale to position far greater things than we can understand. And I'm speaking far greater things, even beyond what's happening here for, collective consciousness here on Earth, how we are upgrading on Earth, right? We don't know what's going on in the cosmos. We don't know the forces that are at play and why. And so it's letting go and understanding that you need to zoom way out, and look to see and kind of consider how it is that you can forgive yourself, forgive the experiences of other people, because things just happen. And because on a grander scale, none of this actually matters. I say that a lot. I just saw 11/11. On a grander scale, none of this matters. Oh, that's what I was about to say. Sorry, that distracted me. I say this all the time. We are on a floating rock in space. Like, life is so serious, it's so beautiful, all of that, right? Creation, all of that. Now, I'll get to that. But at the same time, we are actually, so like, none of this matters. All of this is made up. All of this is made up. This was all just created, and we are actually live Sims. And people like to say that in like a simulation sort of way, but it's like, no, that's very dark and cynical, and it really bypasses what it is that we're here to do, and the uniqueness of it, right? And the gravity of it. We're here to just experience. We're here to just be, to just do, to elevate ourselves, to be in community with one another, to love, to create. And that's what we need to focus on. And so in order to do that, in order to really dive into this awakening, to zoom out and have this perspective, at first you need to acknowledge, you know how you cannot move forward without taking full accountability and acknowledging where things got you in the past, right? If we want to talk about here on earth, the most relevant thing that comes to mind is like the Holocaust, and how Germany had to really account for the atrocities that took place in order for there to be true healing, in order to actually move forward. It's that reckoning moment, right? And that's kind of what we're being asked to sort of do in community with one another, like energetically, to understand that we all played a role in how things got to be where they are, and that none of that really matters who is at fault, because it doesn't change the issue at hand, and it doesn't necessarily, it's relevant to how we move forward, but it's not in that everything hinges on that. Does that make sense? I hope I'm making sense here. And so it's just understanding that it's like, forgive yourself, forgive other people, and really see how you can better be of service. I think I'm slightly butchering that, so hold on. Yeah, okay, so what I really mean, and not getting so caught up in the past, is and zooming out, is you want to be a part of the solution. You don't want to repeat patterns. And it can be that there becomes this sort of spiral and this blame game and this victim mentality and everything. And there are very serious things that happen here on earth. But my point in saying be a part of the solution, naming certain things, like, okay, it's all well and fine to name those things, right? And that has its place. But at the end of the day, we do sort of get stuck in this loop of just naming the things, calling out what is wrong. And it's like, okay, and what are you going to do about it? What are we going to do moving forward? We know how this is. We know what this is. We know what's happening. We know what's at play here. What are we going to do about it? Right? How are you going to take this Nine of Pentacles energy, right? And continue on with refining yourself and refining the community around you, right? And at large, refining the human experience. And really, this has to do in relation with the earth, because when you consider it, we are kind of abusing the earth, right? Killing off the earth. And life will out as it pertains to the earth. We see our oceans are becoming more dangerous, more violent, more angry, right? Tornadoes, earthquakes, all like different aspects of the elements, right? Coming in and reminding us that we are merely humans. We are a flash in the pan here. And so the point is, how can we move forward? How can we, instead of, perpetuating harm, perpetuating conflict, continuing on with inherited cycles, how can we move out of that? How can we bring a divine, like, embodied energy with that, as in grace, understanding, and a decision to do different, to move forward. Excuse me, there we go. To do different, to move forward within expanding our part here, and in turn the universe. Do you know what I mean? It's like, in essence, right now, it's really about getting back to our old ways. And that's why all of these structures and stuff need to crumble. And also, that's why this Knight of Pentacles energy is out here, because it's like, we also know that I view this Six of Pentacles, especially within this deck specifically, as equal give and take and harmony, like equalizing with the universe, working in tandem with the universe, right? Very much co-creator energy. I lost my place there. So I was trying to, hold on. Okay, right. There, your energy, like this period of refinement, right? This deep introspection has to do with understanding that at our core, what we truly value, what we truly want, is to work in partnership with the universe. We want that. We want to be of service. We want to be stewards of this earth. That is like deep down, that is what we are longing for and calling for, right? And so instead of focusing on the institutions and regimes and structures and whatnot that are preventing that, it's like, okay, how can we flip that on its head? How can we, take nonconformists to a different level and make our own rules? And so that is what's causing these collapses, these mental collapses within you. And it's also going to slowly start to collapse the structures around us and create something new. And with that is kind of the whole point of this long-winded message, is that as it stands right now, as we just enter Capricorn season, Capricorn is cardinal earth. So there is this energy, right? That after such, Scorpio season was transformative. We were asked to go into our depths, like really go into our depths. Not the final time in our lives, obviously, but for this period, right? Go into our depths and really alchemize, really transform this energy. And then in Sagittarius season, we were asked to bring levity to it, to expand it, to allow it to come to the surface, right? And that was more energetic, it coming up to the surface and expanding our capacity, expanding our ideas, and kind of sitting in this playful, fun energy, right? Sagittarius is very wise, but also, again, very, like, can be very much jokester and grandiose in a way. And now with Capricorn, we're being asked to, and there was sort of like a learning to adapt, right, with Sagittarius. Transform what was fixed, right? What was fixed within Scorpio. Adapt to the ebb and flow of life, the expanse and whatnot, and contract, and right, within Sagittarius season. And now cardinal earth, we're being asked to sort of ground what it is that is being initiated within us, that the things that we have been subconsciously, quietly working on this entire year, there are things that we've been creating or being guided to create. That is what is trying to come up to the surface at this time. And it looks like birthing, I've spoken a lot about birthing a new way of being, but really this is more, it's that, but it's through creation, and however creation looks for you. Maybe you've been wanting to write a book or start, writing poems, like, get into poetry or something. I said that really weird, but whatever. Poetry. I don't know, get into mountain climbing or something. I don't even know why that came up, but I'm seeing like mountain climbers, how they like stick into the ice, kind of rooted. That's interesting. I mean, well, Capricorn is winter, earth. It's like sinking your teeth into the mountain that you're climbing, right? The mountain that is you, the mountain that is this new reality that's being built, right? Making your own personal trek, and that in and of itself is this creation journey, this creation process that you're being asked to embark on, to take part in, to bring up to the surface here in the 3D, right? It's earth, so very tangible, 3D here, the present, right? we've done that energetically, and now it's to bring it to form up within us. Let me sit with that for a second. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there was something I knew I was like forgetting with that, and tying it all together. The whole point in taking on this like new perspective, right, and also into zooming out and learning forgiveness and not necessarily playing such a blame game, is because a big thing that's going to be so important here is finding like-minded individuals, right? Finding your star family is, you know, a thing that's kind of parroted within the spiritual community. I don't mean parroted in a bad way, but, you know, finding your star family, those who you resonate with. And it's like, who around you do you identify as your star family, or who do you think could, you know, as a contender for that? Not like you're interviewing people, but you know what I mean. And it's like, now can you call upon them to come into like union with them, to work together with them, to collaborate, very much Three of Pentacles energy. How can you do that? How can you access that at this time? Call that in for yourself at this time, as all this uprooting is taking place, because this is very much ooh, that's a horrible angle. Hold on. To call those people in and whatnot, and all of that. I say all of this to say, because I could actually go on about this for another, it's been like 20 minutes. I could go on for another 20 minutes as it pertains to this. I say all of that to say that you yourself, to be true to yourself, to be true to your inherent nature, is to create, is to birth creations, because you yourself are creation, right? You are the epitome of it. Creation personified, like, you know, corporeal, whatever, like life. We are in life, which is creation, creative force. So we are here to create. And that's why it's so important to zoom out, because the universe created earth created humans, or had the perfect conditions for a human life to manifest, right? Still creation. So it's understanding that the universe hinges on creation. That is the entire point. And that is what we're here to do, create. And that's why none of all of this stuff matters. That's why it, you know, the blame game and all of that, they're like, what are we creating? What are we building? What beauty is being asked to like come through you? And focusing on that and advancing humanity, right? And making a difference. Whether you feel like it's going to do that or not, it is, because it's the entire point. It's like joy is the greatest act of rebellion, right? Because of the energetic frequency that it has, right? As opposed to such a low vibrational frequency that would seek to keep you in such energy. I'm losing it here. But it's okay. It's okay. It's just understanding that now more than ever, create, make art, express yourself. Don't hold back. That is we've spent so much time containing ourselves, limiting ourselves, and we've done the work to collapse those structures, right? That tower has come. This isn't, I know the tower is the last card that came out here, but this isn't this is what's coming. This is what has happened, right? Kind of think of this as like working, as it was like working backward, right? The tower has happened, and now what are we refining? What are we bringing, right? Like what are we operating on? I'm really burpy right now. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I wanted to put that in a much more eloquent way, but you know, I guess that speaks to awakening, as things are awakening within me as well. New ways of being, new ways of coming on here and expressing myself. And I've spoken about how, you know, these sort of messages are ones that kind of matter the most to me. Lost my thought there again. I don't think that really mattered here in this moment. Or hell, maybe it did and I'm just distracted. The blue beings are significant. If we're talking like celestial cosmos and all that, the blue beings are very, very significant. I'd urge you to consider what 3i Atlas like meant to you. And in doing that, I want you to consider that this isn't a fearmonger or anything like that. This is honestly very positive energy. I want you to consider that right when COVID-19 hit, I was going to pronounce the city, but I don't even know how it's pronounced, but the city in China, it would like when that hit in China, it was the same day that whatever celestial body, is it whatever, guys, whatever, that was the closest point it was to Earth. And that was a major reset. COVID was a very dark time, but it was honestly kind of a lot like what Kali does. Heads will roll. Things have to go. And I'm sorry, that could be taken as very, very insensitive. Certain things have to go. And if we're looking at this on a large grand scale of like Earth, in order to start this reset, in order to get us to make necessary shifts, in a way, we did have to kind of see how callous the world governments are, like how they were willing to let, millions of people, you know what I mean? Like, I really hope that's making sense. One thing I'm still working with expressing myself is because I zoom out, because I have, because I'm so in touch with the cosmos, it can be, I can come off as very detached when I'm saying certain things. And I want you to remember that first and foremost, for me, life matters, humanity matters. I think that, our mere existence is beautiful. I think it's miraculous. And I think that's something that we should have reverence for ourselves. We should have such reverence for the human experience. So I do not say heads will roll in a callous way, in a insensitive way, but it universally, right, like energetically, that certain things have to happen. Sometimes like bad things have to happen in order for us to start making necessary shifts. We have to get very uncomfortable. And I can't imagine the reset that was needed in 2020. I can't imagine anything more uncomfortable than seeing world governments, like seeing like the and I'm going off on a tangent here, so I'll wrap it up. But the PTSD that we experienced from COVID, I don't even think we've scratched the surface of that, of what that was like to be a human, and to just see how world governments were treating us, like just considering human form or not, right? The lack of regard, and it was bleak. It was bleak, and those sort of things can. I don't know why. So 2020, that entire experience is very relevant here to what's happening, because this has been an awakening in the making, right? That's why I said tower to now, because it's like that was like a tower, and it's how are we moving forward, right? We had to. Here we go. Here's the wrap up. We had to awaken to just how little these governments, these authorities, right? These hierarchical structures, just how little they actually cared about us, the lack of regard. And as I say that, it's so funny because They Don't Really Care About Us by Michael Jackson has been in my head for the past couple of days, and I just really didn't understand it, but it pertains to this. The illusions had to break. And then there was its own tower in that, right? As we awakened, as we sort of shifted, And now that we awoke to that, and we had to then shed all of that, and now we're awakening to how we want to be moving forward, how it is that we have always been called to be, the ways in which we've been stripped away from our true nature and our true relationship with the universe, with each other. That is the entire focus here. If you made it this far, thanks. You know, sometimes it can take, like, everything I say is for a reason, it's relevant, but we all know that sometimes I can be, you know, I can ramble, I can be a little wordy. So that's the entire point here. That's the message here. Just understand here with this Capricorn season, there's something that's being initiated in you. There's something that you are being asked to, especially with Venus just now moving into Capricorn. You were being asked, actually wrote down the questions. Hold, because I'll butcher it otherwise. I just blanked, I'm so sorry. What wants to be birthed through you? What new creations are whispering in your ear? What beauty are you being called to make? That's what we need to consider at this time. So to wrap all of that up, consider all of those things. Anyway, I love you all so much. Again, if you stuck around for this, you're a real one. Merry Christmas Eve to those who celebrate, and those who do not. Still, I wish you the happiest holiday and holiday season. I love you all so much. Have a wonderful day.